How do you think it's gonna do, Tiny?
I have no idea.
Just a few months ago, I thought I was living the American dream, owning my own business, you know, the suit and tie thing. But at the end of the day, I didn't love it. It wasn't fueling my passion. So I sought out a position in a brand new industry, which led me to Matt. I've always been into cars, and now that I'm here doing marketing and content creation, it got me thinking, why not me, right? Why shouldn't I give a shot at building a car that I could enjoy and put it up on YouTube to share my passion with other enthusiasts? The only problem is, what car? And what can I possibly do that hasn't been done before?
What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Charlie here from MA Performance, and today I honestly could not be more pumped. From the day that I decided to start this EVO project, today was the day that I was waiting for, because I knew that the car ran so poorly due to the tune that it had. So for me, this is like the biggest moment right now, because the car is finally going to start to feel more like an EVO, and honestly, I just could not be more excited. So we're headed into the shop right now. We're gonna go meet up with Tiny, throw in the new ID 1300 injectors, and then we're gonna get this thing strapped in. It's gonna be a fun day. Stay tuned. All right, you guys, I just got to the shop, and now I get to go play the Where's Tiny game. It's where we see if we can't find Tiny in less than 5 minutes. Step one of playing the Where's Tiny game is to go see if the STI is here, which, as you can tell, if it is, it's not back here. So let's see if it's in the back lot. All right, I see the EVO, but not seeing no Subaru. Got somebody mowing the lawn. That's pretty tight, but no Tiny. All right, so the Where's Tiny game. The meet at 8 o'clock this morning is currently unsuccessful, and it's 8:35. So no Tiny yet. Time to hit him up on the old Slack. Spotted a Tiny Kyle. He still doesn't know I see him, but I see him. The Where's Tiny game has a winner, and it's me. Welcome to the party.
Hello.
Good morning.
Getting the sand out of my eyes.
Good morning, good morning. Ready to do some EVO things today?
I guess.
Okay, so as I said earlier, this first step in tuning the car today will be putting the new injectors in, because obviously we didn't really want to be driving it around with new injectors and no tune to go with it. So anyways, we are going to bring the EVO in and get the new injectors installed right away. I'm so ready for this to sound and run better. It's gonna be great. We gotta run it. Open the garage door. All right, so now we gotta get the injectors out of the back. All right, so Tiny's looking for some cables and whatnot that we need for tuning the car, and in the meantime, I'm getting started on removing the stuff we need to get out of the way so that we can install these injectors. I am trying to do all this one-handed right now, but I'm gonna start by removing some of this piping up top. All right, so hopefully you guys caught all that on the time lapse, but we finally got the fuel rail out with the injectors. They're a little nasty.
Yeah, they're a little gross.
So in terms of what you guys got to do to take the fuel rail off, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I could do it without an instruction manual, which means just about anybody could figure it out. So this also super self-explanatory. Just don't do that.
Don't drop things.
Oh, little fuel never hurt anybody.
No. Maybe your organs.
Boom. Those are the new Johnnies. We're getting these in here. Obviously, again, super self-explanatory. Just repeat the process you just did in reverse. Anyways, that's gonna be it. So what are you doing?
Just put a little bit of silicone paste on the O-ring. Try not to put too much on there, just so, and you gotta put this bad dog in.
Sits down real nice.
Yeah, well, mostly you don't want to tear that seal because that'll cause issues in the future.
Yeah.
And in the future, I mean, like probably right away.
Probably immediately. Another thing is that we got these plug-and-play adapters that we use just to make it a lot easier to install, so you don't have to do any kind of like wiring or soldering or anything like that. So saves you guys a ton of time. Sorry for all the loud noise. People are actually working here, so that's just gonna happen. But nonetheless, it makes it a lot easier than having to go and solder and wire everything in. So we'll make sure to link to everything that we're using to install this in the description below. But honestly, I can see how this makes the job a million times easier. So I would recommend, if you're ordering injectors at all, just get these. It's worth it.
Some of the kits, I think a lot, I don't know, these ones, some of the kits do have like a drop-down menu to do the plug-and-play adapters instead of like the loose pigtails or the pin them yourself setup.
Right on. All right, well, we'll get these installed and then it's off to the laboratory, huh? All right, you guys, so as you saw, I just got everything put back together. Everything should be on there nice and tight, ready to go. Tiny's just been in here, just playing on the computer in here. All right, well, pretty soon we'll be, how long do you think it'll be till we're tuning?
Shouldn't be too much longer.
Phew. Shouldn't be much longer, he says. How do you think it's gonna do, Tiny?
I have no idea.
Went and took a lunch break. However, Tiny's been busting his ass on this car, so why don't you tell us kind of a little bit about what happened?
Yeah, so this car previously was on an access port, a Cobb access port, which you know, some people prefer to tune on that. You know, so be it. We decided to go with open source tuning for this car, something that I'm not super familiar with. Definitely no expert on even tuning, really. Kind of just
trying to figure it out.
Trying to learn as we go. This is
a
learning experience for both Charlie and now myself, getting into a new platform and learning the ropes there. So spent some time tracing through XML files and ROM files. For those of you who've done open source flashing, you kind of know what I'm talking about. It's definition files that are the lookups for the you know, memory on the ECU. So when we uninstalled the access port, it loaded a ROM that I did not have the XML file for, so found a base map that would work for the car, updated the injector scaling, and now it's all flashed and running. So we're gonna go take a drive, take some logs, and see how it's reacting and kind of start to get familiar with how everything works.
All right, so this is, in my opinion, this is when it starts to get a little more fun. But we'll see how it goes.
She got real rich.
So doing just a light little pull, some stuff may have come unplugged under the hood, but you know, we'll figure her out. All right, so Tiny did his thing on the computer, and now we're going for rip number 2.
See if it's a successful rip.
Yeah.
Well, and I also tightened the MAF. That seemed to have gotten a little loose, which is not exactly what you want.
You definitely don't want a loose MAF.
Yeah.
Nobody loves a loose MAF.
Oh, yeah.
Buckle up, safety first.
Oh yeah, she was a little rich.
A little bit too much fuel. All right, so verdict on test run number 2 is a little too much fuel, but
Yeah.
feels a lot stronger. Just again, Too much fuel.
Yeah. Just kind of getting it cranked out, getting a feel for it before we strap it down and make sure everything's kind of working right. Just doing a couple of test street pulls.
Preliminary butt dyno tests.
Yeah.
That's what they call it in the professional world. Test number 3. Big black smoke?
Yep.
She's a little rich.
It's funny because it stays on target and then it gets super rich. So just have to go look through where it ends up in the load table. See where it gets way too much fuel and pull some out of there.
You heard it here first. All right, you guys, so it's currently about 10 o'clock Friday morning. Tiny got here at 8 and started tuning this thing again. And currently on the setup, it's making how much again?
Just under 300, like 295, I think was the last pull,
and
a little bit over 300 torque.
Right, so this is my first time riding in the car when it's making decent power. Probably Tiny's first time driving this car making decent power. And we're just gonna make a run to the gas station to get some more gas and see how it feels. All right, first pull on the new tune.
A little second gear, 2-3. Something happened.
It feels so much better. So much better than before.
Kicked on the traction control at first, that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Charlie seems happy.
I'm definitely stoked on how this turned out so far. Hell yeah. All right, so we're gonna get some more gas and then time permitting, we'll do some more tuning, a couple more dyno pulls, and that might be where it ends for today, but it's definitely come a long way. I'm definitely happy with how this is, even if we left it as it is right now, but we might see if we can't squeeze a little bit more out of it.
But I'm not a tuner.
But we're not tuners.
But I'm not a tuner.
Your tuner's favorite tuner. You know, another interesting thing is that the car was on 91 octane gas before at those power numbers, and now we put in 93. So I'm really curious to know what the changes in power numbers are going to be now that we've got the 93 in. Gonna also be doing some more tunes now that we realize the exhaust was closed. So,
well, I mean, it wasn't closed during tuning, just some.
Sorry, during our first pull, the exhaust was closed. So we're gonna do another decent pull.
Another rip ski.
Another rip ski with the exhaust opened all the way up.
After this traffic.
Yeah, right.
Once we get to Mexico.
Right.
Canada, sorry.
Canada's
the border's
definitely got more strict.
Right, but it's not the United States where we reside.
So you just can't get tickets there?
Yeah. Well, no, we can, but
we'll just get deported.
You can't get internet tickets. All right, here we go.
So much better. So much better. And it's crazy how big of a difference. I mean, it's not a surprise, but it's crazy how big of a difference opening that exhaust makes to the power it gives out. Again, it's not a huge surprise. It's just a fact.
It's just the way that it is.
It's just the way it is. So much better.
Charlie doesn't get gears like I do, though.
No, dude, you're banging them though.
Literally, like, I think the car will break when I shift.
I'm a little bit more nervous than you are right now, but
I feel like an 8-year-old, like making side comments in the back seat, like, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet?"
All right, so this is actually my first time driving the car since Tiny's had his hands on tuning it, even remotely. So, I mean, for me, it feels a million times better than it did before. The throttle response is way better. It's got a little pull to it as well, so it's more fun to drive. It doesn't cut out unless you turn the air on. Shout out to Tiny for that one.
Yeah.
That we're driving around in this 90-degree weather. Oh, and it sounds amazing. Yeah, I like this a lot better, Tiny.
Yeah, I sure hope so. As opposed to, like, not being able to get into boost at all. Now you can drive the car.
You can definitely drive the out of this thing now. So when you put the base tune on it, it was at, what did we imagine? Like right around 210?
Yeah, I would. like there's obviously some major changes that needed to be made to some of the fueling map and definitely the boost control. So when it wasn't having issues, yeah, we saw like 210, 220,
Right.
really low boost, and then kind of got it where we wanted. Still a decent amount of work to be done, but right now it's at a state where you can drive it and be comfortable. But like you said, there's still some idle tuning that needs to get figured out on my end. Obviously, I'm all very new to this, so just kind of learning as we go, and just thought we'd give you this opportunity to drive the car and feel the progress, I guess you could say, over the last week or so of me tinkering on it here and there, throwing my hands on it.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, again, it feels way better than it did before, which was, obviously to be expected. But for me, again, I'm happy with where it's at power number wise. Again, for now, I mean, we obviously plan to make more power with it down the road, but as we had discussed, the first thing we needed to do with the car was get it to a point where it was running good, responding well, and just running more healthy, because I mean, it was running like complete dog before, and now it's, it feels like it should, which is nice. You can get into the boost around corners, and we've got the nice Olin's coilovers on. We've got a lot of cool appearance stuff coming. We've got some other performance stuff to throw on the car here over the next few weeks. And we're really just trying to get this thing in a state where it's going to be a little bit more fun to drive for PG. But I'm having an absolute blast with it the way it is right now.
Yeah, like there's still a lot of smoothing and boost control strategy stuff that I have to figure out on my end, but it definitely feels heaps. I mean, the dynograph shows it is better, and definitely the butt dyno says it feels better. So that's kind of a win-win in my book, especially being not a tuner and just somebody that's kind of learning. Definitely feels good to be able to like have somebody else drive it and go, oh yeah, this actually is fun. As before, I'm pretty sure Daelen described it as like the the least ambitious EVO he had ever driven. Like it was just really lackluster and had so much to be improved on. Like it really was not a fun car the way it was set up before. It just did not drive all that well. And now it drives and feels fun, but definitely still a lot more work to be done. I envision by the time it's to PG, it's going to be like if this is a huge leap, it'll be maybe half the leap that it was from the start to now, from now to then. So probably whole lot smoother boost delivery, and hopefully some more power. I'd like to see. I mean, it's definitely capable of making more power. Just kind of figuring it out on my end will be the key to seeing that.
All right, you guys, so I just figured we would do a quick recap on everything as we end today's episode. So first and foremost, the car started out at about 210 horsepower when Tiny loaded the base map tune onto the car. Okay, from there, we obviously were able to get all of our new injectors installed. We use those plug and play pigtails to make sure that they just went in smoothly without having to do a whole lot of soldering or wire work. It just made it a whole lot easier. And then from there, Tiny had the car for a few days, probably closer to like a week and a half. And he was able to take the car from 210 and push it up to just shy of 300 wheel horsepower and just over 300 wheel torque. So the car feels and drives a whole lot better, and honestly, it's like an entirely new car. It's finally what the car needed to be. So anyways, if you guys are interested in any of the products we use, the injectors or the plug and play adapters, I'll have those down below. Again, they're the IDX 1300s. So really nice. They work phenomenally, super easy to install. Even I could figure out how to do it, and there was no instruction manual. So it's super simple, especially if you watch this video while you install it. Anyways, that's gonna be the end for today, you guys. If you like this kind of content, make sure to leave us a big old thumbs up. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe for more content just like this. And
I really want to know what you think. Should we go higher than the horsepower numbers? I mean, I think we should, but what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments down below. How much power do you think we need to get this thing to make? And don't just put something crazy like 1,000 or 900 wheel, because I mean, put something realistic. I want it to be the ultimate street car. Let me know what you think. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.